I'm paranormal detective. I was introduced by Mr. Inference. Go to Crystal Palace to investigate the Phantom. As Mr. Inference has other duties to perform, he has entrusted me with this investigation at his behest. Why do I feel about which beauty young lass he rescued at Melody's estate? Wow, Crystal Palace is so fucking big. Just now I go through the content of the commission letter. On May 1st, 1851, the first World Expo took place in London's Crystal Palace, an event that propelled the building to the pinnacle of international fame. After the exposition, the Crystal Palace was torn down and relocated, and its glory faded with the passage of time. Sightings of a phantom have been rumored within the walls of Crystal. I like haunted incident. I've finally arrived at the Crystal Palace mere minutes before dusk. After all these years, not once have I taken the time to visit, but now this investigation has given me a reason to.
Hold it right there. I'm the warden of the Crystal Palace. Tell me at once, how did you manage to sneak in here?
Through the front door, of course. Damn you, are you asking nonsense? You say you're the warden. Yes, I must have missed you when I came in.
I was, catching up on some sleep. I was on duty all last night.
Was it because of the Phantom of the Crystal Palace?
How'd you know? It seems rumor spreads quickly around here, eh?
Here are my papers. I'm an investigator of supernatural phenomena.
So you're the investigator. Welcome, welcome.
He is retired warden, greasy and disheveled hair, and dark circles around his eyes. He certainly looks sleep-deprived. It appears he has not gone home for a bath in a number of days, either. Military uniform, the trim and proper uniform of the British Royal Navy. Perhaps he was a sailor? What can you tell me about the Crystal Palace?
Don't tell me you haven't heard of the magnificent Crystal Palace?
I pretended not to know.
It all started back in 1850-something, the year.
Fuck you, didn't you just say you know? It's May 1st, 1851.
When the Crystal Palace was located in Hyde Park and held the first ever World Expo. The very next year, however, the Crystal Palace was relocated here. After all these years, the museum remains an exhibition venue despite its disassociation from the World Expo. We even have a few merchants set up shops here at the Crystal Palace.
Have you heard the rumors about Perpetual Motion Engine being in Crystal Palace?
Perpetual Motion Engine? Indeed, I have, but I don't know where that rumor started. The only event happening is the jewelry exhibition this afternoon.
Could you tell me more about the Phantom?
You've come to the right man. I'm the first person who reported the ghastly sighting here. 2 nights before, I was doing my usual night patrol, when I saw a strange figure standing on the left corridor of the first floor. The palace was dark, and it was standing far away, so I couldn't make out its face. I thought to myself, just a misplaced wax sculpture, perhaps? Just as I was thinking of taking a closer look, the figure began moving. I shouted, "Halt!" but it fled in the opposite direction. The strangest part, though, was what happened afterward. It suddenly appears on the right side of the first and second floors, and then the left side of the second floor. That's when I knew it had to be a phantom. No living thing could appear in doubles like that. I saw the phantom again on the right side of the 4th floor. I plucked up all of my courage and chased after it, only to see that it escaped through the glass walls of the 4th floor. And after that, it vanished into the night, just like that. The next day, we searched all around the perimeter, looking for any trace of the phantom. But nothing came up. Only a phantom flies off without leaving any tracks. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars.
What the fuck? So you're saying that this phantom can split itself up and even fly?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, and...
Warden! What are you gathering on about over there? Have you taken care of what happened last night?
Something happened last night?
Forgive me, Duke. I was just telling this.
Greetings, Your Grace. I am the investigator in charge of this investigation.
Not the investigator from Scotland Yard, I presume. How very meddlesome. They could have at least set someone more professional.
What? Yes.
Fuck, is this speaking of bad things to my face? What am I doing wrong?
I am Duke White Raven, acting supervisor of the Crystal Palace.
He is Duke White Raven. The Duke hides from head to toe in clothes, gloves, and a mask. He either detests sunlight or suffers from germophobia. Mottled, white hair. His long, white hair is quite unique. Is it really of advanced age? Your attire is quite unique, my lord.
I don't recall asking you to be rid of my appearance. My good man, it would do well to focus on your own work. That bothersome phantom has appeared myself last night and the night before. I pray you had it with further trouble to ensure that I enjoy a proper night's sleep.
It is none of my business if you can enjoy a proper night's sleep. The phantom reappeared last night?
It did, but we took care of it. At least for the time being.
Took care of it.
Follow me. as the Phantom first appeared tonight, so I was able to patrol to put it down last night. As I surmised, the Phantom appeared once more last night, outside the dome glass ceiling of the right corridor. It was then that I ordered the warden to take him in 5 minutes.
What the fuck? Fire at it? What if the Phantom was a person? It's gonna kill people.
The warden may be dead-witted, but his aim is reliable enough. He shot through the crack on the dome glass ceiling, and the bullet found its circuit. The creature swayed and struggled in place before falling to the ground below.
Were your men able to find any trace of the Phantom below?
None at all.
And you're certain that the bullet hit its mark?
My good man, how dare you doubt the account of a nobleman such as myself? If questioning my authority is what you come to do, you may just scurry back to the tops of Scotland Yard and tell them to keep their mongrel noses out of my palace.
Pardon me, my lord. I am simply trying to understand the case.
Answering your pointless questions is hardly worth my time. Warden, talk to the man.
Why is he so hot-tempered at me? What the fuck am I doing wrong? Can you please tell me more about the Phantom when you shot at it?
Well, it made a strange sound afterward, like various noises mixed together. Oh, and there was a burst of light.
A burst of light?
That's right, a burst of light, bang, that came from the Phantom's body. So bright that we lost sight of it for a moment. Once the light disappeared, so did the Phantom.
It almost sounds too bizarre to believe. Do you encounter odd things like this very often, Mr. Warden?
How'd you know? Hell, some people even call me Warden the Strange, on account of all the strange things that happen around me.
I'm so smart. I imagine that, just like the first night, you were unable to find any trace of the Phantom outside?
That's right, not a thing. After the Phantom disappeared from above the ceiling, we circled the Crystal Palace over and over again, but we couldn't find so much as a footprint or a twig out of place.
Why did the Duke say that it was taken care of?
Well, the Crystal Palace is hosting a special exhibition today, once that's been in planning for quite some time now. I'd reckon the Duke doesn't want any rumors of phantoms ruining the event.
It's Phantom, don't let it run away.
What was that? Sounded like it came from the exhibition in the left corridor. I'm going to take a look.
I should go to Busybody, as well. Then I followed the warden to the wax exhibition. The warden also leads a small group of guards down the wax exhibition. What's going on here?
It's the Phantom. It's back again. The workers saw it just now, and it went into the wax exhibition. The Dukes gave chase. I must help him. The wax exhibition has an intricate layout, and searching for the Phantom may take a while. Thankfully, there's only one door in and out of the exhibition. There's no way out once I lock the door. Stay here and make sure no one comes around, or walks out the door, for that matter.
I'm the investigator. I must enter.
That won't do. Who else will open the door for us once we're done? Here, this is the key to the door. You'll also need the 4-digit combination to the lock.
It's very troublesome. A key and a combination?
The door to the wax exhibition has a special lock, one that requires a key and a passcode.
Hello, password?
The passcode is the year the World Expo was first held.
Damn you, won't you just tell me the password? If the Phantom really is in there, I must see it with my own eyes. I can't afford to stand around doing nothing. As I suspected, the door has been locked shut from the inside. And this must be the combination lock the warden mentioned. Aside from the key that the warden just gave me, it appears I'll need a 4-digit passcode to unlock the door. What did the warden say just now? Ah yes, based on my deduction. I remember this being mentioned in the commission letter. The World Expo opened on May 1st, 1851. Truly a day to remember. The passcode to the wax exhibition is 1851. 1851, the year the World Expo was held at the Crystal Palace. Come to think of it, I've only seen pictures of the World Expo in the papers. If only I could go back in the time and take in all the sights. Haze. The grandeur of the Crystal Palace and the World Expo galvanized an entire generation of human progress. But now, the palace is nothing more than an empty shell, a lifeless vestige of what it once was. Is the lock moving on its own? Have the warden and the Duke caught the Phantom? I should unlock the door. 1851. Great, the passcode works.
This door is so fucking hard to open. The door's unlocking itself. Hey, who are you supposed to be?
Are you the Phantom?
Are you blind or something? Clearly, I'm still a living, breathing person.
What were you doing in the wax exhibition?
What else but looking at the wax sculptures? It was rather enjoyable too. Until these two lunatics ran in and locked the door. Thank goodness you were there to unlock it from the outside. Anyway, you can call me Lockhart. Pleasure to meet Cha.
She is Lockhart. She carries countless keys on her. With all those keys of different shapes and sizes, she seems to know much about locks. Ms. Lockhart, I'm investigating the phantom here in the Crystal Palace.
Wait, you're telling me this palace really is haunted? So the rumors are true, after all. How exciting.
Did you happen to see anything strange in the wax exhibition just now?
Nothing comes to mind. The wax exhibition is quite spacious, after all. I had no idea there was a phantom there, to begin with. All I know is that a group of men rushed in. When I went to the door to see what was happening, it had already been locked.
You two, stop right there! Who are you? Where you been to wax exhibition?
I am a security inspector commissioned by the Duchess. She manages a jewelry shop and asks me to ensure the exhibition is properly secured. I was looking at the wax figures and inspecting the exhibition when all the commotion broke out.
Proper places, you two! Why am I only hearing about this now? My 500 presence highly suspicious!
Wait, milord. Judging by her size, I don't believe she's the phantom we're looking for. Also, I don't see any bullet wounds on this young lass.
Perhaps we can ask her employer, the Duchess, to verify her statements, milord?
The Duchess is out of the house yet to return! There is no one here to vouch for you or your actions!
We can't implicate this young lady for anything until we've gathered more information.
Were you thinking of vouching for this girl just now, Mr. Investigator?
If you still have your doubts about her, milord, perhaps you should leave her in my custody for the time being?
Do you wish to vouch for her? Until you have finished your work here, she shall be your responsibility. Just know that if she causes any trouble, it will be on your head.
No problem, I will take responsibility for her.
Keep a close eye on her. If I catch either of you doing anything suspicious, I'll have you thrown out without a second thought. Now get out of my way, and keep searching for that bloody phantom, all of you.
Can you tell me more about what just happened?
Someone saw the phantom entering the wax exhibition. The thing is, no one has seen it leave. We searched the wax exhibition from top to bottom. Still no sign of an intruder. It must have vanished again, just poof, into thin air. You have to believe me. The only things we found in the museum were the wax figures, and this strange manuscript.
A manuscript?
That's right, a manuscript that was tucked inside a pile of wax sculpture designs. At first, I thought it belonged to the museum curator, but that doesn't appear to be the case.
May I take a look? The front page prints the design for a machine called the Perpetual Motion Engine. There are strings of text on the back that resemble part of a prophecy. The handwriting looks awkward. Soon, the Crystal Palace shall be filled with rainbows and fireworks and shall witness the birth of the Perpetual Motion Engine. Wait a second. These drafts for a Perpetual Motion Engine and this prophesy for the future. These are all from my correspondences with my old pen pal. I was deeply fascinated by the Crystal Palace and the World Expo when I was young. Back then, I would often write to a pen pal to discuss the mechanical marvels present in the exhibit. The first World Expo at the Crystal Palace, a representation of the most cutting-edge industrial technologies from around the world. We must recreate the glory of its prime. We were so naive and optimistic. We spoke of the Crystal Palace so often, of rainbows, and fireworks, and the Perpetual Motion Engine. Yes, the content of this manuscript is no different than my old correspondences, but those letters should have been lost long ago. Back then, shit, I don't know what my pen pal looks like. I don't even know the real name of my pen pal.
Mr. Investigator? Hey, did you hear that? I'm certain this manuscript is.
So sorry. I was lost in thought just now. I should listen to their opinions on this strange manuscript.
It must be a prank of some sort. No, this is a threat of crime. This is the kind of threat a haughty criminal would make. I, Warden the Strange, never get it wrong.
No, I don't think so. This is clearly
a threat of crime, you say? You must have quite the imagination.
The Crystal Palace is hosting a new exhibition today, one that has been in the works for ages. Who's to say there aren't criminals preparing to ruin the exhibition? Or else the Duke wouldn't be spending so much time and effort to capture this phantom. Now this manuscript, could it have something to do with our phantom? I would hazard a guess and say yes. They're definitely connected somehow, although, there have been quite a few visitors lately. Perhaps one of them just left this manuscript behind.
I should keep my connection to this manuscript secret until we've untangled more of this mess. It may create more problems if I tell them now.
You lot do enjoy making mountains out of molehills, don't you? What say you, Mr. Investigator? What are your thoughts on this?
I think that I'm just getting started. A jumpy warden, a callous duke, a peculiar girl, and an elusive phantom. The once brilliant Crystal Palace is now shrouded in mystery, and my own naive words from yesteryear have been branded as a threat of crime. Who or what is responsible for all of this? Could it really be a coincidence, or is something far more sinister operating behind the scenes?
Which phantom sighting shall we begin, Mr. Investigator?
Investigate both phantom sighting. Investigate the first phantom sighting first.
Let us start at the beginning, with the very first phantom sighting.
You seem quite excited, Ms. Lockhart. Is everything all right?
Of course, I am. I've always loved stories of paranormal activity.
Well, in my line of work, most reports of paranormal activity turn out to be coincidental occurrences, or ignorant hearsay. My job is to investigate the truth behind these claims. We should start by gathering evidence before jumping to conclusions. Let's begin with the very first sighting and ask the warden for more information. Mr. Warden, could you please tell us where the phantom vanished after your first encounter?
Right there, in the left corridor behind that shop on the 4th floor. It happened near the glass wall there.
Did you find anything?
I'm sorry, but I hurried outside to search the perimeter of the Crystal Palace after it got away. The Duke assigned me to his patrol team the next day. I haven't had a chance to look back on the 4th floor.
Let's go have a look then, shall we? Then we came to the 4th floor of the left corridor.
Phew. I'm so fucking tired. Getting to the 4th floor is no easy feat.
According to the warden, the phantom flew away and disappeared into the night. He had to go all the way down to the 1st floor to search outside and leave from the left corridor's exit. But he found no sign of the phantom. It appears to be about 10 meters above ground. The glass was shattered, and there are still bits of broken glass on the ground. It seems no one has been able to clean the place since the first sighting. These glass panels are enormous. Each one has to be almost 2 meters tall. It would require a tremendous amount of force to break through these sturdy panels.
The Crystal Palace is constructed entirely of thick glass panels embedded between steel beams. At the time of the First World Expo, the Crystal Palace used roughly 84,000 square meters worth of glass panels. And the current Crystal Palace is even bigger than that. Bigger, better, stronger, bigger, stronger, bigger. So, Mr. Investigator, how should we begin?
With this.
And what, pray tell, are those?
An invention of mine. Metal detecting rods. Sharp tools make good work. A professional paranormal investigator should use equally professional equipment. Not only that, I am also a proud member of the Ghost Club.
Ghost Club?
An organization dedicated to the investigation of supernatural phenomena. The Ghost Club was founded at Cambridge's Trinity College in 1855.
You don't look like a sorcerer or a warlock to me.
Don't associate me with those snake oil salesmen. I am a man of science, and the tools I use for investigating paranormal events are just as scientific. Take these rods, for example. By magnetizing them and rubbing different metallic dust on their ends, they can point me in the direction of even more clues through vibrations. Now watch as I magnetize the rods and sprinkle some powdered metal on them.
Is this really going to work?
Voila! There are a couple of springs and screws lying just outside the wall. What's more interesting, however, is their design. These are extremely delicate parts. They appear to be specially crafted for a specific purpose.
Are you pulling my leg? You just waved 2 sticks around until you saw something. Anyone with eyes could have found those springs and screws.
A respected paranormal investigator once said investigating the supernatural requires both creativity and intuition. 2 aspects that belong to the right side of the human brain. My tools simply reinforce those aspects. These springs and screws. They were lying on the steel beam outside of the wall. Interesting. What kind of phantom would leave these behind? I must show these parts to the warden.
What did you find outside the glass walls? These must have been left behind by the phantom. Hand it over. But why would a phantom leave springs and screws behind if it could take flight and split itself up?
It's very possible that what you saw was not a phantom. We should continue investigating the area. Would anyone else in the Crystal Palace have use for these parts?
The merchants in the left corridor of the Crystal Palace deal in handicrafts. They wouldn't have much use for screws and springs. The ones in the right corridor, however, are known to tinker from time to time. Why not see if they can help you?
Mr. Warden, I would like to ask about the second phantom sighting.
Like I told you, it was the proudest moment of my life. I shot right through the dome and struck the phantom, no doubt about it.
Shot?
That's right. I'm the only one in the entire palace entrusted with a firearm. I fought in the war, so naturally, the Duke trusts my marksmanship. Before going out on patrol with the others last night, he personally asked me to bring it with me.
May I see this firearm?
Course not. Under normal circumstances, it's locked away. This is the Crystal Palace after all, not a battlefield. What I can do is tell you it's a British cavalry issued .577 Snider Enfield carbine.
Cavalry? Were you a cavalryman?
No, I was a cook in the Navy, you see, but who says a Navy cook can't dream of being a cavalryman, huh? In fact, it has always been my dream, ever since I was a boy.
Dome? You mean the roof of the palace?
That's right. The roof of this building is famously known as the Crystal Dome, on account on its shape and construction material. Anyone inside can see the sky above their heads through the glass dome.
Which is precisely how we were able to see the phantom outside the dome. I couldn't have asked for a clearer shot at the creature. Could you tell me again what happened after you shot the phantom?
Well, a great burst of light flashed before our eyes, and aside from a loud bang, we heard the sound of a bullet hitting something hard. After that, the phantom fell on the east side of the palace and disappeared without a trace.
Could you take me to the exact location where this all happened?
I'd be glad to. See that crack up there, on the right side of the dome? That's where it happened.
Why is the dome above the right corridor so damaged? There are cracks everywhere.
Well, with the declining state of the Crystal Palace, we haven't had enough funding to maintain the dome's glass panels or support beams. So now, here we are.
But the dome above the left corridor looks perfectly intact.
Ah, that's because it has been under repair over the last 2 weeks, in preparation for the upcoming exhibition. There was too much risk in not preparing it, you see? If the exhibition brought a huge crowd, some of the glass panels might crash down. Fixing the entire dome, however, is far beyond our budget, not to mention extremely dangerous. After the left corridor side's repairs, we didn't have the time nor the funding to repair the right. Also, the right side's damage is a bit more extensive on account of a certain incident. It isn't something that can be taken care of in just a matter of days.
So you say it was standing there beside that crack? I suppose anyone would have a difficult time standing upright on such an uneven surface.
If a person failed to control their center of gravity, they would come crashing through the glass panel, yet the phantom moved so gracefully on it.
How did the phantom climb on top of the dome? Is there easy access to the roof?
Not at all. The highest point of the crystal dome is over 30 meters above the ground, and it is curved all the way around. A special ladder is needed to climb up on top of it. And while we did have one here during the left corridor's repairs, the repairmen took it with them after finishing their work 5 days ago. The Duke demanded them to return it immediately, but we would have to wait until the evening. Now that I think of it, I don't believe any of us has been up there ever since I shot down the phantom. If you two want to go up there, be my guest, but you'll need to figure something out yourselves. I'm going back to the left corridor to help them prepare for the exhibition.
Aside from that special ladder, how else could someone scale the Crystal Palace at such speed? In terms of height, one could get close to the ceiling by using the scaffolding above the shops, the fountain in the center of the Crystal Palace, or the tree in the botanical gardens. Ms. Lockhart?
The Crystal Dome was once the pride of its architect. The domed ceilings that bathed the entire building in natural light, day or night. A design as romantic as they come. But now, it's nothing more than a worthless burden. One that cracks and crumbles with every passing day.
If this keeps up, I fear the Crystal Palace will be in ruins before long.
It shouldn't be this way. This is the Crystal Palace. The dream of an entire generation of people.
There's a fountain. While it would be fairly easy to climb to the top of the fountain, it's still far below the edges of the dome. Only an acrobat with years of specialized training would be able to leap from the top of the fountain to the edge of the dome. There is plenty of metal scaffolding above the shops on both sides of the Crystal Palace, but they don't look stable enough to support a person.
What are you thinking? That a phantom would be able to climb the scaffolding with ease? It's hardly worth wondering about. The majority of the scaffolding has long since warped or rusted through. It's a miracle that the shops still stand. Climbing via scaffolding is almost guaranteed to end in a fall.
I'll keep looking, then. This tall tree, it's still far below the edges of the dome. I don't have a clue at the moment. By the way, the shops here are completely different from that on the left side.
The layout of the Crystal Palace remains the same today as it was during the First World Expo, with the crafts section on the left and the industrial section on the right. In order to host the exhibit, that miser Duke White Raven dedicated a lot of time and energy to fixing and cleaning up the left corridor. But the right side is the true reflection of the Crystal Palace's current state.
The Crystal Palace's current state, a state of decline and emptiness.
Hello, you must be the person in charge of investigating the Phantom, yes?
Ah, yes.
I am a wax artist and the curator of the wax exhibition here at the Crystal Palace.
He is museum curator. Wax sculpting tool. Strange, female wax figure. My apologies. It's just that the wax figure on your shoulder is so lifelike that it caught me by surprise.
It's quite alright. I've gotten used to others giving me that look wherever I go. More than anything, I'm grateful for the opportunity to display my work to you and the other visitors. Let's get back to the main subject. I have something for you. I discovered this earlier.
What is this?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's a bullet.
A bullet? Why me, and not the Duke? This could be a crucial piece of evidence.
Because you are the investigator in the matter, not the Duke.
What do you mean by that?
I trust that you are wholeheartedly pursuing the truth, whereas the Duke is only interested in achieving his desired outcome. You, at least, will not disappoint me. At least I hope not.
Its silver casing is deformed and with burn marks on it, but no traces of blood. When and where did you find this?
This afternoon, inside of the wax exhibition.
What would a bullet be doing inside the wax exhibition?
I still have other matters to attend to, so if you'll excuse me.
This bullet, could it be the one from last night? I should confirm this with the warden. Thankfully, he's close by.
It splits itself up. But how? It's impossible.
What are you mumbling about, Mr. Warden?
I'm thinking about how the Phantom can split itself up.
It's quite eerie, isn't it? I believe you when you say it can fly, but splitting itself up, it sounds like something out of a fairy tale.
I'm telling you, I saw it with my own eyes. I was standing near the middle curtain there when I looked up and saw them. All of them.
You saw them in 3 different places at once, yes?
That's right. There was one time when I saw them appear one after the other, but the other time they appeared all at once. Actually, I was just thinking. There's one person I suspect and it comes to splitting themselves up. Well, more than one, actually. But really, just one.
Damn you, stop all that muttering, and just tell us who it is.
Ugh, I'm at the Duke's beck and call, so I can't leave my post for any reason. But you lot can go see them yourselves. You'll find them in the Botanical Gardens, in the right corridor of the Crystal Palace. Oh, and you didn't hear any of this from me, got it?
Okay, no problem.
Don't forget about that bullet.
Oh, right. Mr. Warden, I have something to ask you.
Hey, that's one of my bullets, ain't it?
Are you certain? Could it be the one you shot at the Phantom last night?
It's a .577 caliber round. No doubt about it.
It was found inside the wax exhibition. If it was, in fact, the bullet that struck the Phantom, then, the bullet must have remained lodged in its body, only to have fallen off after it ran into the exhibition earlier today. It's been completely impacted, as though it struck something remarkably hard. What this means
is that the Phantom has a corporeal form, the surface of which is incredibly dense.
I have to ask again, are you certain?
I told you that I fought in the war, right? I'm very well acquainted with what happens to a bullet after hitting different objects, like armor, or flesh. This bullet definitely struck something hard and embedded itself firmly. Otherwise, it would have fallen out long ago.
Okay, thank you for your thorough explanation.